Lots of money has been made this year by people who have pre-ordered collector booster boxes. Some of it isn't even like backdoor secret deals. Some of it isn't even patron programs like I talked about in my video yesterday. Some of it is just websites that stores sell collector booster boxes on. I can't remember exactly which store it was. Maybe it was like Escape, TCG, or something like that. Anyways, they were selling Secrets of Strixhaven months before, well, not months, but like 6 weeks before release, before official spoiler season had begun, for $325 each. And I remember snapping those things up because it was like, I know this set is going to sell for at least MSRP, which is like $450, the collector booster boxes, but probably more. And so I was buying, on the internet, just open out there for anybody, collector booster boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven for $325, and then I was able to, like a dirty evil scalper, successfully flip those right after release and made money. And that's been true for many of the sets this year. Even things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You could pre-order collector booster boxes for $300 if you knew the right places, and then boom, set comes out, $400. You can make some money. Not going crazy, but you can make some money. And no, this isn't like, of course, there's people who are like investors and you buy and you hold on it and sit on it, and that's cool and all. But I'm saying that like easy tendy money, just easy quick flip, that's been a thing this year. Until now-ish. I mean, so we can check out, this is Stomping Grounds, not a sponsor. Stomping Grounds did their pre-order for, what is this, for Reality Fracture the other day. And so as you see, some stuff is still available. You can still get play booster boxes and bundles, but they have sold out. They have sold out of their, let me drag this over, their collector booster boxes. They're selling for $429. And just like an evil scalper, when I logged on and saw that they hadn't all sold out within 30 minutes, I thought to myself, this probably isn't a good deal. And then just like a Timmy Magic player, the second they sell out, I'm like, oh man, I really should have bought these for $429, because you check out, zoomed in a bit, because you check out TCG player and these are going for a pretty penny. $533 right now, pre-order prices. So let's talk about if this is going to hold. Whoa, there's my desk. If we talk about if this is going to hold, if we think this is real, is this just hype upon hype, or is there legs to these extremely high prices? The point I was making before is that this is unique to The Hobbit, and now unique to Reality Fracture, that a set, you can't pre-order it for a quote-unquote good deal. The Hobbit, you needed to know some people, you needed to be part of Patreon, Discord, whatever programs to get good deals. In my opinion, there might have been websites out there that were pre-ordering. I have seen in my comment section people brag about, like, I got The Hobbit for $600 or $500 or whatever, which that would have been an obvious pickup when TCG Player was selling for $800. And so anyways, The Hobbit and Reality Fracture, there just hasn't been this like obvious pre-order opportunity. And let's talk about why, and talk about if it's inflated. Is the price of Reality Fracture inflated? So first off, let's talk about the good things, the things that make me bullish about Reality Fracture. First off is it's a cinematic set. It's a climactic set. It is the endpoint of a bunch of sets, storyline that has led up to this. Thunder Junction and Merzer Kolob Manor and, Edge of Eternities, and all these sets supposedly are helping lead up to this moment. I don't follow the Magic storyline very closely anymore, but now you say like, oh, well, why does that matter? Well, it matters because of March of the Machines. March of the Machines performed quite well, at least in the long run, not as a quick, there probably was an opportunity as a quick flip, but especially in the years following, Reality Fracture has been a very successful booster box to buy and hold. And so, did I say Reality Fracture? I meant March of the Machines has been a successful booster box to buy and hold. At the time when you bought it, it certainly wasn't a winner. It took some time to appreciate, but we're in a very kind of bullish, fevery market now. And so who knows how that's going to be. There are cool treatments. We can check out the cards here. Some of the cards, we've got this Jace in special foils, in fracture foils, traditional foils, borderless secret lair, whateverness. And so we know that there's going to be, just like every collector booster box, cool cards and cool treatments. We know that there is going to be a headliner, a out of 500 borderless, well, I guess there's still a border. What is this? Textless, serialized, double rainbow foil Bloodline Collector, which, by the way, Bloodline Collector, I believe, is much better card than the Ancestral Recall card from Secrets of Strixhaven. That's my opinion anyways. And so just the fact that it can activate during each end step instead of just your own end step, it can become prepared, and then you can be drawing 3 cards, losing 3 life all the time. So pretty cool. Anyway, so there's some cool cards, some cool treatments. There's also something nostalgic about this set. The fact that they're like redoing Crater Hoof Colossus and doing it with Crater Claw Colossus instead of Snapcaster Mage, it's Stingcaster Mage, and all these dinky but kind of fun takes on past Magic, I think is a pro for this set. I think it's going to help it sell. It's going to help the collector booster boxes maintain value and help it be successful. Those are the things I like about the set. Now let's talk about the cons. As I mentioned or suggested earlier, there is a post-Hobbit hype. The Hobbit is collector booster box that was pre-selling for, $800 and then actually selling for $800, $900. It's crazy. It's bonkers. We could take a look at some charts. Let me move some things around. So this is the Hobbit, and then we'll take a look at what Reality Fracture is doing so far. So this is the Hobbit pre-sale. On the x-axis is date, and then on the y-axis in green is the number of booster boxes sold a day, collector booster boxes. Then in yellow is the price. And you can see the price here. The lowest it ever was for pre-ordering was kind of around the 700s mark, and then it shot up once spoilers and things started to the $800 mark, and then jumped around between $800 and $900 with quite a bit of quantity selling. Here's Reality Fracture. So Reality Fracture started with this kind of high price point of almost $500, and then drifted down as attention got pulled away because of the Hobbit and just other Magic sets in general. And then in late August, now demand is accelerating. The prices actually shot up into the 500s, but it was like 400s, a week ago. And so things are starting to go up. One thing to note is that there's a little bit of crimes and statistics being committed here. The number of boxes being sold on this chart is measured from like 0 to 35, while the number of boxes being sold today on this chart is 0 to 180. So much less, right? But we're also quite far out. Official pre-release, or not pre-release, official spoilers begin in a couple weeks on, I believe it's September 8th. So it's like 2 weeks from Wednesday. And then the actual release of this product isn't until October 2nd. And so this is all pre-sale. This is all quite early. And comparing that with the Hobbit being quite early, it's, 30 boxes a day, where this is closer to kind of like 5, 10, 15. So not as exciting as the Hobbit, but the Hobbit performed really well. The point I'm making is that the Hobbit had just insane pre-sale, insane prices, insane volume, quantity being sold, and people might expect that from Reality Fracture. Well, Nick, why would you say that? Well, I'd say that because this is what happened after Final Fantasy last year. After Final Fantasy last year, we saw things like Spider-Man, which was a Universes Beyond set as well, pre-order for extremely high prices, and we just saw that just kind of go down. So we're already at a different path than Spider-Man. I don't think this is going to perform like Spider-Man. I think this is going to perform just fine. But the question of this video isn't, is it going to perform just fine? The question of this video is there a price that you can get in at now that could lead to some money making in the near future? I do think this is going to be a great pickup and hold. I think that these climactic sets are excellent pickup and holds, the March of the Machines and this Reality Fracture. I'm not sure if there's other ones, but anyways, so one of the cons is the post-Hobbit hype. Another con is that I think that this set might be priced in a bit from Secrets of Strixhaven. This set is very similar to Secrets of Strixhaven, with one downside, one obvious thing missing that I'll get to in a second. But Secrets of Strixhaven, like I said, was underpriced in pre-orders. Stores, quote unquote, like missed out on money because they were selling at a bargain, and that when spoilers started, the prices went up. I don't think stores are making that same mistake this time. I've done some searching, some digging around, trying to find good deals and good prices, and it just seems harder. Those good deals and prices are definitely out there, but I'm just not finding $325 for a collector booster box being able to pre-order like you were able to for Secrets of Strixhaven. So I think that the ability to kind of undercut the market or just get a good deal early on has gone away some, because that has already happened so many times this year. So not ideal. The price point that we're able to get in at is just not going to be as low or as good as it was for Secrets of Strixhaven. And then the last big downside, comparing this to Secrets of Strixhaven, because by the way, if you didn't know, the set parallels Secrets of Strixhaven. Secrets of Strixhaven had 5 enemy color pairings. This one's going to have 5 allied color pairings. And a lot of the mechanics are the same, like prepared cards and things like that. Cards having spells attached to them and there being 5 schools, even though the 5 schools are different. So there's a lot of similarities between the two sets. However, there's no Silver Scroll border Japanese showcase cards, which is a really big deal. So when you think about the card lineup of the exciting things you can open in a collector booster box and a collector booster pack in this Reality Fracture set, it's actually closer to Lorne Eclipsed, where there's this one headliner card, and then there's fancy versions of the cards inside of the set. And that's okay, but that's not nearly as good as Secrets of Strixhaven, where you can open up a collector booster box of Secrets of Strixhaven, and not only do you have a chance to get a serialized card, which is cool, but there's a chance to open up, and not only is there a chance to get cool cards from the set in special treatments, I guess what they didn't have were fracture foils. I think it's fracture foils. Let me pull up the card image gallery. I can share it real quick. Because what do these come in? There's the Shattered Mirror cards. And then I need to scroll up to blue, I guess. Here's the Jace. And yeah, fractured foil is what it's called. Okay, so there's fracture foils in this set. And there weren't fracture foils in Secrets of Strixhaven. So now the comparison in my mind comes to, which one would you rather have? A Japanese Silver Scroll specialty card or a fracture foil of a card from this set? And I believe that the market's response to that would be like, undeniably, we prefer Silver Scroll foils. Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong about that, but I think that people love the Silver Scroll foils. I mean, I got one right here. I guess I should full screen myself. This won't do it justice, obviously, but I mean, I don't know. It's cool. It is Japanese. I'm not a big fan of Japanese. I personally cannot read Japanese, and I like being able to read my cards. But fracture foils, I don't know. There were fracture foils in Aether Drift. There were fracture foils in Lorne Eclipse, and I just don't see fractured foils driving the demand for cards within the set. I guess that's the thing too, is like, what's the bonus sheet? What's the extra cool, spicy cards that you can open up? And we just haven't been shown that. And maybe that will come out in spoilers. Maybe there's like an entire genre of cool cards you're going to be able to open up in collector booster packs that we just haven't been shown yet. That is possible. But I don't know. I just wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't gamble on that pre-ordering, right? So that's the situation. So what do I suggest doing? Well, what I recommend is that you can go to Wizard's website and click on the collector booster boxes. That will bring you to the link in Amazon where you can set up auto buy. And I can't show you because I'll dox myself, but you can set up an auto buy where if the price gets below a certain number, let's say you're willing to buy these for MSRP, you can say like, hey, once the price is $450, pull the trigger for me, Amazon. Let me fight those botters head to head and try to get some of these booster boxes. So that's kind of interesting. That's something I'm going to try. Am I happy that Wizards of the Coast is making it easier to buy on Amazon straight from them rather than through your local game store? No, that's not great. That being said, I'm not going to ignore it as an opportunity to secure myself some sweet product. Yeah, I think that's all. I'm going to try to pre-order as many of these as I can from distribution partner programs, Patreon type programs. I need to give a shout out to Louis at Kitchen Table TCG. I said that his program was sold out. It's not sold out. It's just done through Discord, so you can go check him out. Not a sponsor. And yeah, that's all, folks. So let me know what you think. Exciting times. I think Reality Fracture is going to be a banger set, but I'm just not sure that buying it, pre-ordering it for $533 on TCG Player is going to be a great move in the short run or the long run. I think there's got to be better prices out there, better ways to find it. So search out there, and good luck to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.